Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a rainy Tuesday night here in the Northeast. Dave, let me just check my sound here real quick. I was gonna play a game tonight, and I hit the wall. All right, so the sound sounds good. Hmm, I get more managing moderation options here. I guess I'll have to figure out what that is. Anyway, first off, thanks for everybody that came by last night. That show last night was amazing. Just having everybody come in, and we had the most viewers we've ever had. As I adjust my camera here, yeah, the most viewers we've ever had last night. I thought the show went well. Poor Vinny, we didn't expect this many people. And so we just started writing down names the best we could for that contest, and we're going to try to find a better way to do that. I just don't know a better way. I wanted to use the wheel. The wheel was fun, spinning the wheel. It just you had to assign everybody a number, and I don't think there was a way to put everybody in the chat on there. I know StreamYard puts everybody in the chat on the wheel automatically, or at least I think they do. But yeah, we didn't know how to do that. So I was expecting 50 people, but yeah, but we had a good time last night. I still haven't done any shopping, and I do have my list here. I have my list of things I want to take a look at and pick up. Some of them doesn't. Some of the things don't start till Friday anyway. Um, so that's when I'll probably look when I get up Friday. I'll hit things pretty hard on Friday. As Philip comes by, good to see you, and David from Montana. From Montana, the only town I know is Billings, Montana. It's the only town I know out there. And Rob, okay, good. Rob, you're here. Did you get a hold of John Turnbull? He was trying to get a hold of you today. So Rob, yet you're here. Um, I just want to make sure that John Turnbull got a hold of you to get your game, because he just contacted me about an hour ago and he says, "Hey, how do I contact Rob?" I think he found you on Facebook. So as Barbara comes by. So if you haven't heard from John, please shoot me an email, digitaltodice@yahoo.com, so I can get that over to you. Okay, good. You talked on Facebook. Okay, good. That was the other thing we didn't know how to. So again, we have a lot of people on here, but we don't have personal contact with a lot of people. So we're trying to make sure everybody got their gifts and their prizes last night, and we're still trying to get some people to contact us. So I don't know. We'll do what we can. As John comes by, John, you can see I'm all dressed up, right? You can see I'm all buccaneered out. I almost did it tonight. I was gonna play um, some 79 Buccaneer football with Apple football tonight. I was real close. I was this close. Look at my fingers. They're not this close, but I was this close. And I ended up playing a hockey game for the 81-82 co-op project, and that was after I watched Grant and I watched Keith tonight. And by the time I just grabbed something, I was like, man, I think I'm getting kind of hungry here. So I had something to eat, and then I hit the wall, and I says, this is at quarter of 11 is not when I want to be setting up Apple football. So I might dive into that tomorrow, or Thursday or Friday. But the 79 seasons here, it's already over here, and I already got the envelopes in and the cards from Chris, the team card. So thank you so much, Chris, for getting that to me so I can start playing. I couldn't play till I had all that stuff because I like to put that on my table and make it look nice. So, um, but yeah, I was gonna do that tonight, and then I almost pulled out the fast drive football. That's pretty fun too. And then I was gonna play some payoff pitch, and I was gonna play some APA basic baseball. And then by the time I decided what I wanted to play, and I couldn't decide it, I just said I think I'm gonna just come on here and say hi and talk to you guys, see what's going on. As we have Vancouver checking in and Denver checking in. So hope things are going well. And Clay comes by. Clay's season ticket sale is going on right now. So I did go there and I did check that out. I was going to pick up a couple things over there. So, yeah, we got the Vancouver in there already. As you can see, they changed all our things here. So if I put that on here, you see how they've changed a lot of the names. I don't know what's going on with YouTube here, but I think you can create your own handle. I don't know how to do it because mine's automatic. I think I already created one, but if you don't create a handle, it kind of just picks something else for you. And so a lot of people that come in here, we could read their names, and now it's all like it looks like the combination to my luggage, and it's like I don't know who you are anymore. So I don't know why they did that, but they really changed things over here, and I don't like that. So you see, Ron's pretty good. See, Ron's got his name in here, so we can see. So we know that's Ron. But yeah, and Kerwin from Texas comes by. Good to see you here. And you're in Helena is the capital of Montana. Okay. Yeah, I just that's one state I don't know much about. And if you look at the graph for Montana, like where people live, it's like it's around those two cities, and everything else is just like barren mountains and stuff like that. And I think they have a couple of highways that there's no speed limit because it's just why bother, But I always want to get out there and visit that. That's one place that just be kind of neat to see just this big open space up there. It really is. So we got some rain here tonight, so we haven't had any visitors. So Leon and Mabel have not come out to get their dinner that the wife puts out every night. She's like totally possumed out now. Like every day it's possum this, possum that, and tell me all about possum. So that's what she does. She gets into stuff. As Jerry comes by, yes, the horse racing game. I saw that, Jerry. Yep. So the play will have a horse racing game. It looks like it's designed very similar to the red, white, and blue racing. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I was kind of hoping you could have the horses go around the track, but it's more like the racing game. We have the guy in the lead and people are challenging him. So that's kind of how they're going to do it. Triple G comes by. Good to see you. Did you just post a video? Football. I was going through and I have my people I check off to play the app, and I thought that you had played a football game tonight because I was going to listen to that when I lay down with my electric blanket on. And Barbara says if you go to your YouTube account, they click on your pic, scroll down, you can change your handle. Oh, nice. So go to YouTube account, click on your picture, scroll down, you can change your handle. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it was football. 77 Saints and Bears. Okay, I'll be listening to that tonight. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Just listen to that. I like to find somebody that posted a game or even part of a game and kind of listen to that. And I like to follow along. I don't know if you guys do that when I play, but what I like to do is when someone's playing a game that I'm familiar with, I like to see what the dice roll is and when you read the number and then the play. So I like to follow along a little bit. So just the first quarter. Okay. Well, then I'll listen to the first quarter tonight. I know it's a long game. I was going to pull that out tonight. Again, I want to get my 79 season going. I'm going to play some Buccaneer games. I don't know what products I want to do yet. I got a ton of products I want to do with it, but which one I'm going to start with. And I was like, boy, it's a little late to be setting up Apple football. I started to get a little tired here. So, I played a couple of co-op games. I played one co-op game for the one Vinny and Joe are doing. Where is it over here? It's 88-89 season, and they're using highlight hockey from 49 highlight hockey. And I think there's only like 10 or 12 people doing it. So it's just a small group. And I haven't played it in a while. So I picked a game that was like a month or two down the road. And I know they didn't want me to do that, but I just said, I don't want to pick a game and then screw it up and then say, guys, I screwed it up, play it for me. So I wanted to pick a game. So I picked the Bruins and the Penguins and did a game from Boston. And what was the score in this game? Actually, it went back and forth. 2-0 Boston, 3-2 Pittsburgh, and Bruins on a power play goal from Neely from Bork and Janney. And the Bruins won 4-3. So that's kind of how that game went. I'm trying to get back into the highlight hockey. It's fun. It plays pretty quick. That's why I thought I messed it up. Is because I played it so fast. I was like, wait a sec. I played this game like way too fast. I says I must have screwed up something, but I don't think I did because I went back and I watched some of my own videos to see if I was playing it right. It's like I'm playing it just like I used to play it, so I don't know what the deal is. Why I'm thinking I'm playing it wrong, but yeah, you always second guess yourself. And then tonight, I pulled out well, like I said, I was going from Grant to Keith. They kind of were like back to back tonight. So I said, well, I'll play something while they're doing it. And so I pulled out Apple Hockey, and I was going to play a game of the 81-82 co-op series. And so I says there was a Minnesota Calgary game. I was kind of like one of the ones that was left in that block. And that's what's fun about the co-op games. You just kind of go in and pick one. And they kind of limit the game, so you just can't go in and grab all the games. It's like everyone gets to pick one or two, and then there's a little clock that starts ticking, and then after a while it's like, okay, if no one's going to grab these, then whoever wants to grab them. And so I go in there and I looked, and there was plenty of games to choose from, and there's plenty of teams that I wanted to play. So I picked up Minnesota and Calgary, Minnesota at Calgary, and this was in, I think it was February of 1982. So they're already into February and they're already playing in the next season. And I played a handful of games. It was fun. So I said, I'm going to play APA. So I pulled out APA, and what I like to do is go to Hockey Reference and see who's playing. And so that way there I can, get my guys in and play an as played game. And the goalie was, hang on. I got to look up here. I sent it to Joe and Vinny. This guy's name was Lindsay, Lindsay, so not Lindsay, but Lindsay, probably Lindsay Middlebrook, Lindsay Middlebrook. Okay. He was the Minnesota goalie. And I'd never heard of this guy. So I looked, and he played 3 games. I'm like, what are the chances Appa's going to have him carded? And he wasn't. They only had Milosh and Beaupre, I think it was. So they didn't have this Middlebrook guy. So, of course, the game I picked in February was the guy that played 3 games, and he wasn't carded in Appa. And I want to make sure I got the goalies right. So my only choice was to go and pull out the Hockey Bones. So I pulled out the Hockey Bones, and, of course, they had them. And I played the game in Hockey Bones. And it was fun. It was a good time. Minnesota won 7-5. I had I think it's my first ever shorthanded goal with Hockey Bones. I don't think I've had a shorthanded goal yet with Hockey Bones that I can remember. If I did, there was one, and it was Jim Poplinski of the Calgary Flames, who I think played in Atlanta too. Yeah, because this is 81-82. This was their first year up there, I think. First or second year in Calgary. So anybody from the Flames would have carried over. And his shorthand was 3-5, which was like ridiculous because most people are 1-3. What that means is you roll the dice, and the blue die, if your scoring range is 1-3 or 1-4, whatever it is, the blue die has to be a 1. So you got chances of scoring are slim because you got to roll that 1. He had a 3, so that blue die could be 1, 2, or 3. So it's almost like a 50-50 chance of getting the shot on net. So I rolled in range, and he scored shorthanded. I was pretty pumped. Having a shorthanded goal scored. I don't get too many of those. So I did the game in Hockey Bones and had some fun with it. It took me a little longer than I thought. I thought I'd rip right through it because I wasn't streaming, so I could just do it. Yeah, it still took me a long time. But it was a good time. Had fun with that game. And I was going to set something else up. I was like, what do I do? Do I do fast drive football? Do I do some Appa baseball, payoff pitch? I got all these things right here. I could just grab them, throw them on the table and go. And I hit the wall. So I figured I'd come on and talk to you guys and see how your Black Friday shopping is going, what you have your eye on, what have you picked up already, and just kind of go from there tonight. So Patrick comes by. Thanks for coming by. And David says, being a Mariners fan, I'm going to Strat or Appa board game for the 25 seasons. Oh, Strat or Appa. Well, it depends what you like. I'm an Appa guy. I've played all kinds of games, and Appa works for me. I really like it. They just don't have any sales, but their game is very, very steady, very sturdy, and I like that you can play either basic or the master, and they're both really, really fun. And they have all the seasons in stock. That's the big thing. Why I went to Appa is because they have all the seasons in stock. And Strat's having a fantastic Black Friday sale. It's just the seasons I want from baseball in hockey, I have. And I don't have many of them, but I have the ones I want, and the ones or the I have the ones I want that they had in stock. The ones I would buy haven't been in stock in years. Same with the football. They have one season I would think about getting. So for me, you know, I like Strat and I play it and have fun with it, but I found a game that has seasons in stock that I want to play. So for me, um, and might want to look into the payoff pitch too with a season ticket baseball. I mean, those are my top 4 games, and they're all fantastic. Um, Payoff pitch and season ticket get you all the players. So if you want that, that's there. Appa Appa comes close to all the players, and Strat does not even come close. So, and back in the chat here. So I don't know if that helps at all, David. I'm sorry, kind of all over the place here. You know, again, I'm biased towards Appa just because I play it and it works for me. It works really well for me. Um, and Roger comes by. Thanks for coming by, Roger. And Mike comes by and he says, I bought 3 seasons of second season, a season ticket baseball. Is what he says. Season ticket. Oh, season ticket football. 3 seasons. What one did you get? What one did you get? Let me know your seasons there. Play horsing as a day one buy for this big guy. I'm not a horse racing guy. I still might look at it. I have bought a couple of their PDF games in the past. I still haven't played them yet. But that just I have a few games I haven't played. But anyway, Mark, greeting. This is Mark from Tampa Bay area of Florida. Thanks for coming by, Mark. How's things down there in Tampa Bay? I see. I got my Bucks. Look at that. I got my Bucks stuff on here. I almost was going to play some 79 Apple with the Buccaneers tonight, and I just got a little too tired. But anyway, thanks for coming by. I guess I was a big Bucks fan. When they went to the pewter, and then they won the Super Bowl with the pewter. I'm like, yeah, it still didn't mean as much. And Alan, good to see you, Alan. And again, guys, you see how the names are kind of messed up. YouTube screwed up the names a little bit. So Barbara said if you go to your YouTube account and you click on your picture, you can scroll down, you can change your name into something a little bit more normal. Right now, everyone's got like the AOL names. Remember AOL in the 90s when nobody could get anything close to what they wanted because everybody's grabbing email names. So you'd be like, David 44328. That's just kind of what they assigned you. That's kind of what YouTube's doing right now. So yeah, go in and change your name so I can see who you are. Though Alan, I can see who you are, but I mean the Q19 is messing me up. But he bought 88 season ticket baseball with a holiday discount. Maybe he can get the Mets to beat the Dodgers this way. Patrick just got bank shot basketball. He's trying to learn it. Yeah, take your time with it. The only issue I had with bank shot was sometimes I would say it goes to like a B player, a B2 player, and that kind of messed me up. But aside from that, the game is pretty simple. It tells you who has the ball. You roll the dice, you look at the card, and you see who what the results are, and then you flip a fast action card. I don't know. I think it was a fairly easy game. And he says he loves these games, but I swear, as a community, we need to learn how to write rule books. I will grant you that. I will grant you that some of the rules in some of these games are tough. But let me tell you, as someone who's tried to write rules, like I tried to rewrite the Apple hockey rule book so I could explain it a little bit better than the book. And people were reading my rules and were confused because I knew what I was saying, but how do I convey that? And I went back and said, yeah, boy, I did a poor job on that. So it's not as easy as you think writing rules. The best thing to do would be to find someone that knows nothing about the game and give them the rules and then see what they come out of it with, because that way, you got someone who has no idea what's going on. It was kind of like there was a movie one time I saw. My boss at the time actually was in a movie, and he gave me a VH copy. It was VHS back then, and he goes, "Here's like a you know a preview of the movie here. It's not done yet, but this is kind of like this is getting pretty close to the final cut." And I watched it, and I was like, "Man," I says, "I couldn't follow any of that." I says, "What were you doing in this scene, and what was this guy doing in this scene?" He's like, "Oh well, I'm in this scene because of all this." And I'm like, "How would I know that?" And he's like, "Well, this guy's in the scene because of this." He says, "Oh, they cut out a bunch of stuff that would have explained it." So the guy who wrote the movie knows what's going on. The people acting it know what's going on, but all the stuff that would let the viewer in on what's going on was cut out. So how do I know why is this guy in the store? What's he doing in this store? There's a reason he's in that store, but I never got to see it because you cut it out. So yes, so it's like you want to make sure that someone reads the rule book there that has nothing to do with your game. I agree, but a lot of times I was just you just kind of figure it out. Just ask around; it makes sense. And sometimes something's worded just a little weird, so don't give up on it. Don't give up on any of Joe's games. Joe's such a nice guy, and if you got any questions, just ask him. Because I had some questions with the rule book too, especially just when the ball would automatically go to somebody. That's when I got messed up. It's like, what do I do? It's like, this guy's not here. What happens here? And there was in the rule book, it said a couple of different things. One time it said just keep the guy with the ball. Another time it said go to somebody else. So the rules said two different things. And I was like, and he said, so I finally get back to him. He's like, it's not a deal breaker. It's not going to wreck the game, whichever way you go. I was like, okay, so long as I'm not going to wreck the game and whatever. But yeah, I kind of wanted to know myself, and but it's still I played so much of that game. I almost pulled that out tonight. Actually, is Corey comes by. Hi, Corey, and DGJ. Yep, and he says he's a strat guy, but he would recommend payoff pitch a season ticket. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, and they're both fairly inexpensive. And you can try season ticket for free. Just download it and play it, and I think you'll love it. I mean, I played that like the first time I played, it's like, wow, this is like so easy. And it was still kind of fun. And there's some advanced modes in season ticket too, if you want to go that route there. So it doesn't have to always be simple. But yeah, I would try one of those. Let's see here. And Patrick says payoff pitch is great. Yeah. And Clay says I printed up 3 seeds for an order today and hit the post office around noon. Don't know if it's the same order or not, but you got it in. He's all printed up, ready to go. Fantastic. And Mark says it's the land of endless summers. I know. I was talking to my friend from California. She lives outside of San Francisco, and she's been out this way a few times. And she stayed out here. She came out to Boston one time, couldn't get out because of the snow, so she stayed with us. And I had a snow blowing. I did. I put the snow blower. I says we're gonna do some snow blowing while you're out here. And to this day, she gives me crap. She's just like, "Why do you live there? The weather is miserable." She goes, "Out here, it's like it's perfect weather every single day." It's like, well, there's a lot of other reasons I don't want to go there. um, it, you know, because like there was one time she was out there and she was not allowed to burn her fireplace. Like she has a fireplace, she couldn't burn her fireplace on certain days. I'm like, we don't have that out here, so there's that. But she's always making fun of the weather out here. How it's either really hot and humid or just like cold and miserable. So I give her that. The weather here is not that good. Uh, and Super Bowl tournament says I got 78, 84, 90 season ticket football with a code. Yeah, yeah, 30% off. 30% off is nuts. And another Dallas Fort Worth guy, Dr. Jim. Thanks for coming by, Dr. Jim. As we're just kind of chatting here. Man, I was blown away last night by the show, Sunday night show. Holy cow. I couldn't believe how many people showed up. Really, I couldn't believe how many people showed up. It was our biggest audience ever. We had a fun time. And let you know a little secret here. After the show, we got a lot of contacts from people that want to do a Christmas show and have giveaways. So we're going to be doing a Christmas show a little before Christmas, and we're going to be doing more giveaways. So it just became infectious. It was just fun, giving people games to play, maybe something they hadn't played yet or something they had their eye on. So we're looking to do some more giveaways, and the next one will be around Christmas time. So I'm not sure. We got a couple people that want to buy some games. I'm pretty sure we had a couple of game developers that said they wanted to throw something in for the giveaway too, or for the Christmas giveaway. So yeah, so just check back, as we get going here. We're going to be doing another show like the Black Friday one with some giveaways, and hopefully we'll have a lot more giveaways again. That was more Vinny and Joe doing that for you guys, and then John Turnbull come in and chipped in with a couple of games himself. So we're kind of hoping to have a really good time doing that on Christmas time as well. Let's see. And Justin says, "Oh, you guys are really, really, really trying to put me on the spot here. What do I like more, 49 highlight hockey, shootout hockey, or stone cold hockey for quicker play?" Shootout and stone cold are very similar. Stone cold has some narrative to it that's really kind of fun. Okay. Shootout's kind of more straightforward, but I like how shootout handles the penalties and the shots on goal and goals and assists. So I just like how shootout handles the stats. So when I play shootout, I know I'm going to get good stats with shots on goals and all the penalties. That's just what I like about shootout. So I get when I'm done, I have the full box score. I like that. Stone Cold doesn't do that, but it's still a very fun game because you factor in that momentum, and you can see some teams just getting ground down and they're getting beat up. And so anytime there's a match for the momentum, I think it's called the momentum, and they lose that match every time, it's going to lead to a shot on goal for the other team because they've been beaten down. So Stone Cold does that pretty well. 49 highlight hockey, boy, that come out of nowhere. Um, it just it's so smooth when you just it's that's a very different game from the other two. Um, so it all depends on what I want to do. Shootout's always been my go-to game, and that is the fastest one out of all of them. So I can bang out a game of shootout. I like the fast action cards with shootout. So shootout is just near the top of my games. Always will be. The 49 highlight come out of nowhere. And boy, that was such a good game. I couldn't stop playing that. In fact, I played that last night as well. And that's another what highlight hockey does is it gets more individual people involved. So you're not just in shootout and stone cold, you're rolling the dice to see who kind of gets control, and then from there, that person potentially gets a scoring chance or a goal or a penalty, whatever it is. Um, and so that's kind of how those play. But the highlight hockey, it's there's a lot of checks. It's like, okay, this guy versus this guy, who's going to win that battle? Things like that. Then you actually have face off to see who's going to get the puck, and you always want the puck. Although sometimes you flip a card and you lose the puck too. So um, highlight hockey is got a lot more going on, and I think it's super fun for that. Um, and again, it plays pretty quick. It just plays really, really quick. The highlight hockey plays quick. I think shootout plays the fastest. Highlight is right behind it, but you get more. There's more meat and potatoes with the highlight hockey. So I don't know if that helps at all. They're all fantastic. None of them are really that expensive. Shootout hockey is all PDF. Um, I think Stone Cold's all PDF too. So, but they're all super fun games, and Stone Cold actually has a PC version too. Yeah, they're messing with the name, Sean. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Um, yeah, all of a sudden I look up and there's all these people I've never seen. So, oh, look at all these new subscribers. And no, they're not new subscribers. Their names are all messed up. They look like I said, they look like the combination of my luggage. And Josh says he bought 75 a 1918 payoff pitch. Ended up buying PDS because shipping to Canada's expensive. Yeah. Well, what you could do is what I did, Josh, is I found a local printer. And I went in and I said, I brought in some of the cards. I said, look, I said, can you make these? If I bring in the PDF, can you print them? And they said, yeah. And they actually did it fairly, fairly inexpensive. I got some hockey bones printed up, and it was actually a little cheaper than the drive-through cards hockey bones. Drive-through cards were better. They're two-sided, and they're much better than what I got. But I was not unhappy with what I got at the printer, and they're nice and thick, and they look pretty good. So, going to a printer might be an option too. I wouldn't say Staples. I would say an actual print shop that handles that stuff. Um, but yeah, but again, PDF's great if you only want a few teams. If you're like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be needing all 30 baseball teams. I think I'm just going to play this division. Then yeah, you don't need the full season. And Ron also says, I ordered second season mat from Inked Gaming. Good luck. Good luck. Yep. I placed an order with Inked Gaming last Black Friday, and we were into January before I heard anything. And basically, it was, sorry, we're busy. And I said, can you cancel the order before I, get a hold of the credit card company and tell them that, this is fraud? Because I heard nothing right through. I bought it Black Friday. I bought blank mats too. I wanted, the blank mats. I just bought a couple of colors, not even custom, just a couple of colors. It went in well into December. Finally, someone said, yeah, we got your order. It's not done yet. And then I said, I kind of wanted it by Christmas, so I could, use it on the show here. I gave up. So they gave me my money back, but I guess a lot of people had problems last year. They got hammered last year. Good for them. But they also lost a lot of business from people like myself who didn't like the fact that, the last time I ordered through them, it was like a couple of weeks. And it was all the custom mats that you see on the show here. And I just ordered blank, just colors, just so I could have some colors. And they couldn't fulfill the order. And they ended up, I guess a lot of people, they didn't fulfill either. So don't be surprised if you don't hear anything for a while from them, especially during Black Friday, So I'm sorry to hear that, And yeah, Sean, you made out like a bandit with the Action PC stuff. I saw some of the stuff you were posting there, and I was like, "Holy cow! You got all that for $8?" Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah, you're going crazy. And Dufferman says, with Bankshot, I use the facts only. The dice kill the excitement for me, and I find it flows great with the facts. Um, that's. I guess we're a little different right there, Duff. I like the facts. Don't get me wrong. I love the facts. I'm not a fan of flipping facts to get my dice rolls. Even with that game, even though there's so many fast action cards, I want to roll my dice knowing that I can get the same roll 3 times in a row. That's just me. It's my personal preference. I want to know that I can roll a 56 and then a 56 and then a 56 3 times in a row if that happens. And when I flip cards, because they're all pre-printed, it's not going to happen. That's just kind of how it. In fact, a lot of games I play, like when I play Shootout, and I have 2 decks that I use with Shootout, and I'm constantly shuffling cards because I don't want to, see these numbers come up and now they're gone forever, And I mean, again, Bankshot has so many cards that whatever, but so for my quote dice rolls, I want to roll the dice because I want to have every number available to come up the same percentage every single time. Just personal preference for me. So again, when, like Ron used to say, when you see the 20 in Strat hockey gone, you know that 20's gone. Well, if you're rolling dice, that 20's not gone. That 20 can come up anytime. So, and 2018 was the Red Sox championship season. Yeah. I think you saw that. I got the APA 2004. And I got the 4 teams. I got the Yankees, I'm going to say the Oilers, the Yankees, the Astros, the Sox, and the Cardinals. So I can play the final 4 teams with APA. I did buy that in Strat back in the day. In fact, it was only about few months ago that I found that 2004 Strat, and I separated. It was still sitting in the plastic. I hadn't played it yet. And so I finally separated and put it away. But I do have 2004 with Strat, but they don't even sell that anymore, which is, yeah, why Strat's out of stock on everything, I don't know. Why you can't sell from an empty cart? You can't sell from an empty cart. That's all I'm going to say. And where are we now here? And Doug comes by, and Doug says, hello, Dave and Chad. About a couple seasons of payoff pitch and one season of bank shot basketball today. Well, what did you get? You got to let us know. You can't kind of keep us here in hiding here in suspense. You got to let us know. And thanks for coming by. I haven't played my drums in a while. I keep looking at them saying I want to play, and I'm going to be so terrible if I play my drums. And Todd became a member of the channel. Todd, thank you so much, really. Thank you so much for helping us out here on the channel here. It means a lot that you guys like what I do, and thanks for coming by and doing that. Ever think about doing a Secret Santa? I think it's not I can run that by Vinny and Joe and see what they want to do. My thing is that I just want to keep it as fun and simple as possible. I really do. And I thought the wheel was kind of fun. We just got to find a better way of doing it. I mean, we could do a Secret Santa. I just want to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to have to organize too much. So if we can just say, hey, you won this, then we can send it to you and we're done. It's kind of what I'm kind of hoping. Whereas instead of trying to coordinate different people with different things. But I mean, it's not a bad idea. And it's something that I'll talk to Vinny and Joe and see what they want to do. Let's try a new scene over here. Here we go. Now we got the Matrix going here. Look at the Matrix. Dufferman says looking for a quick play hockey game to use with his shootout 85-86 NHL season. Quick hockey game. Well, shootout does play pretty quick. A couple I would keep in mind would be Downey's final score. The seasons are just a couple of bucks. And the ultra quick hockey, if you want to keep stats, ultra quick will give you stats. So there's a couple there that from Downey that kind of my go-to games. In fact, I did a whole couple years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. I did a full 1970-71 full season replay with Downey final score. Every single game, all the playoffs. Bruins ended up winning it all as expected, but it was fun. And some of the teams, I don't know if I still have that. I might have the video somewhere. Some of the teams were almost spot on with their records, and there was only a couple of teams that swapped. I think in the West, I think like Minnesota and St. Louis were swapped. But aside from that, everything fell in the line. I hit a couple of the goals against and goals for, like spot on, and that's all with a quick play game. That's just rolling a couple of dice and having some fun with it. So, so the Downey games are always good for that stuff. The PDFs are dirt cheap. I'm trying to think what else I could use here. You do know that shootout hockey has a shootout EZ, don't you? And it takes 1 minute to play. You get to two teams. You look at the offense and the defense ratings like you do in the normal game, and that gives you a number. And you roll, I think it's 2 10-sided die. And you see, you roll once for each period for each team. So it's 6 rolls. And I can play that game. I think I time myself 1 minute and 5 seconds. So shootout EZ, look into that. It's free. It's about a shootout. And you use the same cards. You use the team cards. So it's kind of fun. So, yeah, I forgot about that. Shootout EZ is another one you can do. And it's period by period. It's kind of fun. And it's got rare plays, too. But you can do a game in about a minute. Let's see. Dr. Jim. I rewatched the show and took notes on specials. Vinny should get an award for his dedication. Oh, my gosh. We had no idea what was going to happen last night. And I knew we would probably get 50 people. And so I said, Vin, I'll set up the wheel for 50 people and we'll have them write Happy Black Friday if they want to be included. And you just kind of write the name down. So I thought like in 5 or 10 minutes we'd be done. And all of a sudden the counter's going up and we're up over 100. And I'm like, holy cow. Vinny's just like writing and writing and writing and writing. I'm like, oh man, what do we do? It's like, I don't know what to do. Vinny's like, don't worry about it. So me and Joe just started doing the sales while poor Vinny's writing. So he didn't get to talk about too much. But he was a trooper. He did so well. And then we rolled the dice and people were happy and they got their games and it was yeah, it was yeah. And so yeah, thanks, Vinny. And yeah, he was great. Yeah. Yeah. And Alan, look, Alan, what do you got here? Let's see if I was able to get rid of those wacky letters. Yes, you did. Yes, look at that. Look at that. Yes. So if you got a weird screen name, YouTube's kind of changed all your screen names on you. Just go and go into your account and click on your picture and go down and change your handle. I think it's called right. Remember CBs? You had a handle. Remember that song, Convoy? That was a good song in the 70s. Looks like we got ourselves a convoy. Na, 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 convoy. So, Alan, yes, you look good. You look good. You're back to the New Jersey guy, you know. Ink Gaming put out a statement begging people to give them a second chance. They're making changes. You know, I feel bad for them. I really feel bad for them because I heard there's just a handful of people and they're just sublimating the mats. I used to do that with mouse pads. I sublimated mouse pads. And I can imagine if you're a small shop and you only have a couple of computers and a couple of printers and a couple of heat presses, if you get hit with thousands of orders, it's not going to happen. It's just you just can't keep up. And I take it they just got overwhelmed and slammed and good. I mean, good for them, but at the same time, it's kind of like me. I mean, I'm a one man show over here with my job, and if I got slammed, I wouldn't get to anybody. I mean, I wouldn't get to everybody, and it'd be frustrating. So I do feel bad for them. It just they really should have just put one guy on email like all day long, or two people, and just said, "Look, we got slammed." If I got an email and said, "Dave, we apologize. We had no idea that Black Friday would lead us to this many orders, and we are gonna be way behind on this. So." Please bear with us. If you want, we can refund your money or just please bear with us. But when I got nothing for weeks and I would send email after email, like, what's going on? Just let me know. That was the frustrating part. And that's why I walked away. And again, maybe they're all working as fast as they could, and I get it, but it was too bad. It really was. Because I would like to use them again, but I'm very hesitant to do that again. Fast Drive Facts arrived today. Woohoo! Yes, yeah. I almost played that tonight. That is so fun. And Rob comes by. Tried to order from Ink Games a couple years ago. Had to abandon attempt to do. I had to abandon the attempt due to useless, slow, non-existing service. I think it's just a small company. It might only be like 3 or 4 people over there, and I think they got hammered. They got a good product. They got a good product, and my first 4 orders went in and went out without an issue. I had them here in a couple of weeks, maybe not even. And they're just getting flooded right now. The other thing too is they have a big catalog, right? Like if you go to Ink Game and they have like all this pre-designed art that people send in, and you can choose, the Kraken or the Dungeons and Dragons, whatever it is, right? So you can do all that stuff. But now their catalog is so huge. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about them. At least not right now. I mean, maybe in the middle of the year, like if it's away from all the holidays, I might try them again. But like this time of year, anytime between November, December, January, forget it. You got to let them get through this right here. That would be my suggestion. And let's see, back to chat. I'm behind in my chat. I'm sorry, I'm always behind in my chat. 'Cause I like to talk about the stuff and give everybody a little bit of time here. Um, and so Sean says, I did not hear what Kurt Berglund said about Pine Tat. Don't be ordering from there right now. He doesn't know what's going on with the owner, but orders not being fulfilled. And then Benjamin asked, thoughts about Pine Tar? What do you like or dislike? I will tell you, I have Pine Tar. Okay. The game itself is really good. The game itself, I enjoyed. Okay. Couple of things, well, a lot of things I don't like about it. One, excuse me. The only season they have that I wanted to play was 1982. So I bought 1982, and that's all I have. Pine Tar really is designed for the 27 Yankees versus the 67 Mets. That's what it is. It's like the best of the best, and that's what it's really designed for. It's not designed for a season replay guy like myself. I like to keep within the season. That's what I like to play most of the time. They only had one season. It came to me in a locked PDF. Fine, I guess you got to protect your stuff. But every time I open it up, I have to go look up the code that they gave me so I can open it. No other game I have that I've gotten a PDF from or an Excel file from is locked under a code. I see where they're going with this. For me, it's a big pain in the neck, and it's more of a deterrent than it is. It's, as much money as they're saving, it's a deterrent for me to promote the game and buy the game. So no seasons. It's all locked up. And the final straw for me was the player cards. You get all individual cards, but then they're all laid out on a sheet, PDF, like you do. But they're like full color cards. And I printed out a couple of teams, and it's like, man, I could just see the ink just going in my tank. It's like I'm just printing way too much color. You don't want that much color on your cards. It might look good on the computer, but you're gonna be just chomping up your ink, and there's nothing worse than printing and running out of ink halfway through a page, and now you've wasted all that, and the page you got to throw out. So, payoff pitch, season ticket, those PDFs are great. There's a lot of white, so there's a lot of ink, that you're not printing, is what I'm saying, and there's a little bit of color on those, and that makes it really nice. But when you got a card and it's like all light brown background on every single player, that's a lot of ink to be spitting out. So the game itself is easy. It's real fun. It's just one sheet, one chart that you look off of. I enjoyed it when I played it, but because of there's no seasons, because it's all locked up and I got to remember the code every time, and because I don't want to waste any ink on my printer printing this out, I don't play it. Which is too bad because, again, the game itself is really, really fun. It's just really easy and it's super fun. But until the big thing for me is the colored cards. That's just way too much ink to be shooting out. So I only have 2 teams printed. I don't even know if I printed everybody. I just printed enough to try the game. Like the game. I don't like everything else about it though. So Benjamin, that's my take on it. And unless they've changed, unless they've added seasons or they've changed what the cards look like, it's something that I'm not going to pick up again. I might play the 2 teams I have because I do like the game, and it might have cracked my top 5 or 6 games, but not with all the other issues I just mentioned. Todd got payoff pitch 79, very good season, and season ticket 71. So I can relive the glory days of the Pirates when they went so frustratingly pathetic. Didn't they have a couple of good seasons not that long ago, right? I thought like they had McCutcheon in center field, and the Pirates are doing pretty well there for a while. Patrick, take care. Thanks for coming by. And Doug says he got payoff pitch 54 and 77 and bank shot 79 to 80. That's some good stuff there, Doug. Yep. I didn't pick up anything yet. I got some season ticket baseball I'm gonna get. And maybe a football. Because they still got a ways to go on that 84 co-op. And I think I got like 80, 83 and 85, but I don't have 84. So I'm going to have to get 84 if I want to jump into that co-op and play some of that. Because I like playing different games with the co-op. It's just so fun. That's why I get into the co-op, because I can play whatever game I want to play. And it gives me a reason to put it on the table. That's what I like about the co-ops is it gives me a reason to play different games. And so I have 84 with all these other games. I just don't have a season ticket yet. So I'm going to get a season ticket, and then I can play that in the co-op too. Because I did that with 79, right? when I did my 79 season replay, and I just kind of picked a game, and I used all kinds of games for that. I used season ticket, I used payoff pitch, I think I had Strat, I think I had Apples, it is 5, and Pocket Pennant Run, and then Back to Basics, 7. Was there any other one I used? Trying to think, there's any other baseball game I used for that. I used, like I say, that was 7 games I used for that replay, and it's just kind of fun. So every time I go, I'm like, I'm just going to play this game, and what engine am I going to use? And so I did that. So I had fun with that, and that's what's fun about the co-op things. And then I didn't have to keep track of anything either, because that was on the digital diamond. So I just kind of just picked the game. It doesn't matter what game you play. That's the great thing about digital diamond. Doesn't matter what game you play. You just put in the results, and you're good to go. Some Roads comes by. Thanks for coming by, Some Roads. And Josh says, when I bought the payoff pitch PDS from Silent Strategy, so they have a sumo wrestling game. It has Rikishi. Oh, no way. And he lived in Japan in '92, so of course you bought the game. He sent that to me a long time ago, and I never played it. I never got that on the table. I don't know anything about sumo wrestling. I just don't. Just don't. Yes, I am creamsicled out. You know why that is? Some Roads is because tonight Grant was on, so I watched Grant, and then Keith was on, so I watched them, and so while they were doing their thing, I was playing a hockey game for the co-op project, and then I got done. So I got done right when they get done. I said, you know something, I'm gonna play some 79 Apple football Buccaneers tonight, and I went upstairs and I did. I come back downstairs and I just hit the wall. I says, I think I'm just gonna come down and say hi rather than set up an Apple football game. Maybe I'll set it up tonight when I'm done chatting, but I just hit a wall. I was out there doing leaves today. Actually, I was talking to Barbara on the phone while I was doing leaves. I got the Apple iPods, so when I get done blowing the things around, I said I'll give Barbara a call, see what she's playing. And so I was just raking leaves in the cold. It was really cold out today. So I got my leaves almost done. Good enough. Good enough. I had to clear away some of the leaves so Leon and Mabel could get to their bowls. The 2 possums living outside. Oh my gosh, my wife's so into possums right now. And yeah, good luck with the 86 Mets replay. Yep, I have that season. It's tough to play. Yeah, Breaker, Breaker, good buddy. Wasn't that song great? The Convoy. The '70s songs are so good. CBs are so good, actually. It was kind of fun. And never thought you'd hear Convoy by C.W. McCall. Never know what you're going to hear. I think I told the story last night on the I'm behind in my chat again. I'll get there. But when I was doing the game Sunday morning, I did a couple games Sunday morning. I did a neutral rink Sunday morning, but it was the team that I cover up in New Hampshire. So I was like, yeah, I'll grab these 2 games because I already know one of the teams pretty well. So they were playing a team from Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Pennsylvania, and so I only had to learn one team because the other team I knew. So I was doing the game, and I'm getting to my point here, by the way. And this couple sitting like right in front of me. I'm like, oh man, all these seats and people like sitting around me, and I'm like way at the back. And I'm like, why do you guys all want to sit way at the back? So it's like, well, I'm doing the game, so everyone's gonna hear me broadcasting the game, like, and they're sitting right in front of me. It's like I'm not gonna quiet down. I got to do the game. And so the team scored, and they turned around, and they looked at me, and so I'm like, hi, just doing my job. And then they're playing. Then the same kid scored again. They turned around, and looked at me again. So I smiled. It's like, yep, well, doing my job. And the game got over, and they said, hey, by the way, we're from California, and that was our son that scored the 2 goals. And I was like, well, that's fantastic. And they're like, we listen to you all the time, and you do a really good job, and you make us laugh with all your old references, and we get them all the time. And so I do a lot. Obviously, I'm an older guy, so I do a lot of '70s and '80s TV references or music references, and they're like, we get them because we know the kids don't get them, but we get them. And I thought it was kind of funny that they took the time to thank me, and then they took the time to talk about how they get all my about like Happy Days references, Love Boat references, movies, music, bands, and it's something that the kids have no clue on, but the parents might know. So yeah, so the Convoy there, Alan, yeah. The other one, the other reference I use is the guy took a shot and it goes, that shot sailed over the net. Where is Christopher Cross when you need him? Well, Christopher Cross, his big song was Sailing, right? So some people got it, some people didn't. Mo Dean coming by. I ordered mats for them and never had a problem. I also ordered before word spread about them printing great mats. Well, I did too. Back in the day, I ordered from them and got them in a week or two. No problems at all. Boom, 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 boom. Glad to do business with you. But now, maybe they just got too big too fast. Well, the thing is, but that part of that's on them, Mo. Part of that's on them. They advertised like crazy last Black Friday. You're going to advertise like crazy and you get nailed. You better be sure you can handle that, Have I played Ultra Quick Football? Yes, I have. I like the final score of football better. And I'm trying to remember why. I think it was with the final score, you look at a chart to get the numbers, and they're all football scores there. And with the Ultra Quick, I think it was the team had a number. I don't know if it was their average or a rating or whatever it was, and you added a subtracted from that, and you could get 8, 4, 15. You got non-football numbers with the Ultra Quick. And that's what I didn't like about it, because I didn't like the fact that I could, subtract 2 from 17 to get 15. How often do you get 15 in a football game, right? So that's what I didn't like about Ultra Quick Football. And I think Final Score actually gave you went quarter by quarter. So I did like that better too. So if I had to pick between the two, I would pick Final Score. And Sean says Pine Tar has results on the card, which is awesome. Yeah, well, if you get the right print, you're still, chomping up ink. That was my thing, is I didn't want to chomp up ink. Give me, like this card here. Where I put them all away. I had my season ticket cards here, and I just put them away because my tournament ended. But that's the perfect card, a season ticket card. You got a little bit of color in the numbers, but it's mostly white with just a black grid. And everything's white. The background's all white except for a little bit at the top. You're not using much ink at all. You can print all day, but when you're printing backgrounds, no, you can't do that, But the game itself is pretty good. And yeah, thanks to Barbara for fixing that. And hopefully that helped Ben. I know I'm kind of all over the place right now. And Kurt said to contact him. Yeah, he was involved with the game for a while. Now I don't think he is, And Robert comes by. Hi, Robert. Good to see you again. He ordered 1980 Ballpark Baseball on the PDF today. I heard something about Ballpark Baseball. I heard something about it. I think I saw it on. Oh, somebody posted on Digital Dice, right? Somebody posted on Digital to Dice about that. I think it was. So I will have to check that out. In fact, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. I want to say Ballpark Franks, right? Because I'm hungry. Ballpark Baseball. So I need to go look that up. And Todd says, bought app in 1909 to play the Pirates, win their first World Series over the Tigers. I have the older cards, but this guy Bob sent me 1905 and 1908 app of baseball like a couple years ago. Every now and then I pull it out, and I love the names. Just the names are great. I don't know anybody on those teams, but those are a couple of fun years, because I guess he sent me a message. He goes, I just ran into a ton of APA cards. I don't know if he bought them at an estate sale or what. And he's like, you want like 1905? I said, sure. And he sent me 1908 too. So every now and then I pull those out. So I got to pull those out again and play them, because I like those old crazy seasons. But 1909, that sounds fun, And Sean says, I saw those new videos come on with the picture cards having front and back, though. Ooh, yeah, you got to be careful with that. Yeah. Yeah. So you played 79, 80 NFL seasons for Downey games with Ultra Quick Football. The Ultra Quick's fine. I kind of like the final score better. And William, you got a crazy name here. And like Barbara said, go into your YouTube account, click on your picture, and then that'll allow you to change your name into something not so AOL 1996. Unless you like it, unless this is what you wanted. But there's a way to fix that, so you can just put whatever you want on there. And Sean says he likes that the hitter cards had separate bases empty and runners on result of the card. That's different. Yep. It just started raining here. Yeah, awesome possum. The possums haven't been out yet. She put the food out at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we just both checked, and they have not been here. It's raining out now though, so maybe they went someplace else. And Robert says a PDF just released today. I might have to check that out. Oh, I played 79, 80 and Downing. Oh, I did. You know, I played both. I think I did a video on both actually. I just like the final score better. It just works better for me. And LK comes by. Always fun to discover a new game. You discovered Net Results Soccer. Oh, good. Did you get a hold of Keith? Right? Is that Keith did that, right? Possession by possession type game. Been looking for it. Downloaded the 2021 EPL to try it. Fantastic. I'm not a big soccer guy, but you know that I should look into it because I think Keith said it was free, right? So I should look into that and just print out a couple of teams. And the Pirates have the best pitcher in baseball, but they won't be able to keep him. Well, that's the thing with teams like that. You know, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and teams like that. They get these really good guys, and next thing you know, they're in LA and New York. Or Boston, you know. Boston just signed a guy from St. Louis. They traded him for something in cash. It's like, you're going to trade away a really good guy for cash? Really? And Alan, what do you got over here, Alan? Do you know? How do you quickly learn the players in a team that you don't know when I'm doing the play-by-play? You wonder how that's done. I'll tell you the secret. Tell you my secret. It's just I start with some common things. In other words, you know, I look for my number. So I have a number that I wear when I play hockey. I look for that guy. So I look for my number and I say, okay, that's Jones. So anytime I see my number, it's Jones. So he's checked off the list. Is there a tall guy? Tallest guy on the ice. Find him. Look his name. Done. Is there a short guy? Go with him. Is there a guy that's got big bushy hair sticking out? Okay. Look for things that are different than anybody on the ice. That's what I start with. So I start with my number. I start with tall guys, short guys, guys with hair, things like that. Anything that sticks out on the ice. And then I look for some numbers like 7 and 4, like Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito. So I try to memorize that. So if I memorize 4, 7, and I memorize my number and the tall guy and the short guy and the guy with hair, that's six guys I've memorized on each team. And then it's just a matter of trying to remember their names. And then a lot of times it's doing one of these. It's like I'll have my rosters right here, and it goes to, you know, it goes to 16, and I got to look down to see who 16 is. And it's like, okay, now it's Canistrari with the puck. Oh, he turns it over. Canistrari turns it over to, you know, Dresslock, and now Dresslock coming the other way. And so it's a lot of looking down, sometimes catching the name till I learn them. So that's what I do, is I start to identify the highly identified people. And, you know, sometimes you get lucky. You catch a number real quick and you get on and get it. But sometimes you get two guys out there. You get like 81 and 91, and they both shoot lefty. You know, if 81 shot lefty, 91 shot righty, now there's something that identifies each of them. But some guys look exactly the same, you know, same uniform, same helmet. You know, some guys wear a cage, some guys don't. So I look for the things that make it different, you know. That's what I try to do. And just after doing it for a long enough time, I get pretty good at that. Hopefully that answers your question. And yes, we talked about ink gaming. They did grow too quick. Yep. Michael comes by. Michael, you got to fix that. Oh no. Oh, you already fixed yours. Yeah, because you used to say Michael on here. Now it's changed. So Barbara's telling everybody to change their names so we can see who it is. Looking at the new old baseball game called Ballpark Baseball. Yeah, yeah. Robert was just talking about that. So we might have to check out that Ballpark Baseball. Yep. Doug comes by again. Doug's Some Roads talks. Um, he wants to pitch for the Yankees. So if you're a Yankee fan, you'll be happy. Around Pittsburgh, it's an awful shame. Yeah. And okay, so Ballpark has been rebooted and they have a website. Looks good. All right, we'll have to take that out. Check that out. I mean, I need to see some videos before I purchase. $65 for the game book in a full year is a little steep for a blind purchase. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Um, and Submaster Chief comes by. He says he stopped watching the Play Games video that he missed live. I watched. I was watching most of that tonight. The horse racing game. I might have to look at that. And yeah, that $65 is kind of tough. I mean, at least if at least you could see a video of it, or you know, get a couple of teams to practice with, or even if there's a basic version, just get an idea. Yeah, because I hate going in blind too. That is kind of a lot of money to spend if you're not really sure. It's always fun to go in with, just maybe a PDF to get you just see if you like it. That's the thing. See if you like it. Um, yeah, the 1909 names are great. Yeah, Honus Wagner, Ty Cobb. Oh yeah, that's some good. It's good back there. Yeah. And Mo says he's not a big soccer guy, but he loves Appa soccer. I was playing that with Ryan in Connecticut back in May, and but he was doing the dice. I did not like the dice. So he tried to show me over the internet one time with the fast action cards, and it looked a little better. But it might have been better if I was playing it rather than just kind of watching someone else play it. Not a big soccer guy. And if Appa ever had a sale, I would pick it up, or if I could find it used, because I just don't want to drop big bucks on a soccer game. I just not a soccer guy, but I like Appa's stuff, so I would probably like it. I don't know, maybe someday. And LK says the rules are free, and all the seasons leagues Keith has made are free. The earliest seasons originally done by David, you can purchase from him. Okay, so we're talking about Net Results Soccer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think he did say that on the show. Steve Etzel has a couple of videos on how to play ballpark baseball. The new game is basically the same. It's how I learned the game without paying $15 just to see the rule book. All right. Some Rose is looking for his delivery from Chris White. I got mine. I got mine in today. I posted a picture of it. I got my envelopes and I got my team cards for 79, and I got my 4 envelopes for the 2004 season. Yeah, the Pirates are definitely a feeder team for the Yankees and some other teams too. I remember who was it? CC Sabathia when he was with the Brewers, I think it was. And then the next year he's with the Yankees. I'm like, oh man, he has a great picture with Milwaukee, and now he's got to go and he's got to go to the Yankees now. It's like, come on, right? And LK says I have Apple Sock, but haven't figured out. Not sure why it didn't click for me. I should buy a used copy of it. There was one time. I should have got it, and I didn't. And if I like it, then I could go back and buy it all, whatever. But kid refused to make that last out, and the rest was history. McNamara totally mismanaged that game. Yeah, there's a lot of mismanagement. Um, let's see. You don't have the giant boards with the lines laid out. Giant boards with the lines. I'm not sure if I'm following that one. And Todd comes by. Hey, Toddo. Looking to purchase my first ever football game cards and dice. What would I recommend? Solitaire, Quick Decks, or Inside Blitz? Second season seems a little too chart heavy for me. I wouldn't recommend Inside Blitz. Not for cards and dice. I would recommend Solitaire Pro, Season Ticket Football, or Second Season. Those are my now. Quick Decks is very similar to Solitaire Pro. It's just more in depth. It's like a real modernized version of Solitaire Pro. Solitaire Pro is very basic, but it plays super fast and it's really fun. Um, Second Season takes a little bit longer because there's a lot more rolls, and then you got Season Ticket Football, which is team cards, and that game goes pretty quick too. So, and again, the Season Ticket Football is on sale right now, so that might be a good one to check out. But the Quick Decks is good from Grant. It's really deep though. It's like, well, it's like a lot going on. I happen to get it for some reason. I was able to pick it up pretty easy. But if you're looking to just get started, um, it might be a bit much if you're just getting started because there's a lot to it. But yeah, so it's your first ever one. Okay, if it's your first ever one, I would suggest Season Ticket Football or Second Season, and maybe Solitaire Pro. Those are the three I would recommend. Just from what I've played, and if I was gonna ask somebody to play a new game, now as you start playing these and you start getting good at them, then you want to bump up to Quick Decks or Inside Blitz. That's kind of the steps I would make. And then if you want to get into things like Apple Football, that's super easy. Apple Football super easy. It's just you're buying a lot of cards. And LK says, especially the fact that I've fallen in love with season ticket baseball and has similarities to pursue the Pennant and Dynasty League. I have AP. You got to change your name. All right, we've already decided. You got to go to your account, click on your little picture there, and change your handle. YouTube, for whatever reason, has changed everybody's names to something like you have here. So you got to go in and change it to something cool. All right, and like, like him, Barbara. Yeah, I don't know why you two did that. We were going along pretty good. It must be a corporate thing. And what I recommend Inside Blitz for the PC? Yes, on the PC, it's fantastic. All the Inside Sports games, I think, are better on the PC. It does a lot of the heavy lifting. There's a lot of things you got to change. You know, like even with the hockey, it's like puck goes into the corner. It's like left wing versus defense +4. So you look at the numbers, and on the PC, that 4 is added in, whereas on the table, you got to remember to add that. And I thought it was always clunky trying to figure out how to do the plays with football. So on the PC, it's all done for you, and you look at the cards, and you're kind of clicking on, what it is, and you're still playing the cards and dice, but it's kind of helping you out. I really like Inside Blitz on the PC. I really do. And LK says, thinking about hopping back into hockey again. He has Hockey Blast. Love to keep stats. What are the pros and cons of a cards and dice games that I've played? Well, the big thing is keeping stats with cards and dice hockey games. Unless you use the Blue Link software from Mike Ignatowski, I mean, keeping stats is a bear because there's a lot of things you gotta, keeping stats by hand or even a spreadsheet. I find to be very difficult for me. I try to find a helper. That's why I love my baseball games because DigiDiamond does all that for me. But as far as the games themselves, I mean, there's all kinds of games out there. You got some faster play games, like the Shootout and Stone Cold and the Highlight Hockey, and then you get your full games like Apper and Hockey Bones and Strat. And Apper and Hockey Bones they're almost identical. They really are. They're my 1 and 1A. The Strat, because I don't have a ton of seasons, it's a turnoff, and I don't like how they handle the power play. I never did, and I just feel like Appa and Hockey Bones flow a little bit better. And then you get the Quick Decks hockey from Grant. That's pretty good too. And I think you can get individual cards or team cards of that. The team cards are awesome with that Grants game. Um, so what are the pros and cons? I mean, they're all a little bit different. Like today, I went to play a game tonight for the co-op project, and they had this goalie that played 3 games. So of course, the game I picked was the goalie that played 3 games. ABBA didn't have him carded. So I had to go and play with Hockey Bones because Hockey Bones cards anybody. So there's the plus and the minus, the pro and the con. I love APA. They didn't have the guy. So I went to Hockey Bones. But there's some things that APA does better than Hockey Bones. There's some things that Highlight Hockey does better than both of them. Highlight Hockey plays really quick, actually. And the Highlight Hockey is great. The quick decks takes a lot longer. It's super intense, though. It really is. It's super intense. I don't know if that helped at all, LK. Hopefully it did. And Doug says season football is great. Season ticket football just picked it up. Yep. That's a good time with that one there. I don't know how many seasons I have with that. I gotta go take a look. I have a bunch of seasons with that. Midlife comes by. And Mo says, got a digital version of the APA football board. So when I punch in the number rolled on the player card, it spits out directly the play call, depending on the offense and defense. Oh, was that on a spreadsheet or something like that? That's interesting. That might save a lot of time too. Although I do like looking at the charts. Oh, you think it's much easier than looking at the board? I like because I have my board out open. No matter what game I play with, it's APA football, APA baseball, APA hockey. It's just so when I roll the dice, I just get the number, go right to the chart. I like looking at charts. You know. And Barbara says, I go into the supermarket. I know where the bread is. And they move to aisle 10. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. I know. Our grocery store does that too. It's like, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get the. Why am I grabbing Pampers? This is not Count Chocula. How come you have diapers in the cereal aisle? Things like that. Drives you nuts, Midlife says strat football is not chart heavy. No, it's not. You can play right out of the box. I was talking about the hockey power play. The strat football is easy. It's just they have one season that I would play. Strat has nothing in stock. That's the problem. They have nothing in stock. I played that football game with Glenn in Colorado. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to get it. What seasons they have? I go online. They might have one season I'd want to play. And I think some of the seasons I did want to get only had 6 teams printed. Same with the hockey, only 6 teams. I don't want to buy something that I got to print out another 20 teams. That's why it's not going to happen. I want to buy the cards already done. I want everything. I want them to come in the mail. I don't mind paying for them. But I'm not going to sit there and print out all these cards from 20 teams. So that's why Strat kind of fell to the bottom of my playing because it's just I like to play the basic baseball once in a while. I was going to pick up the football on the sale. Was it 20 or 30% off? I was going to pick up some seasons. They don't have any. And the ones they had with 6 teams, nope, not going to do it. Yep, exactly right. It's just too bad they have nothing on the shelf. It could be 90% off. Could be 100% off. It's an empty shelf. It's empty. The shelf is empty as far as what I want to get. Oh, if I want a modern season, I could get it. I don't want a modern season. I don't like modern seasons. I wouldn't play a modern season. So, it's on Excel? Oh, that's pretty cool. That'd be pretty, that app thing's on Excel. That's fantastic, And yeah, this season disappointed me. That's what it is. I would love to have 76. They had 77, but that's it. And it's like, I almost got it. I almost bought it. I almost bought the football in 77. I still might. Although, hang on a sec here. Hang on a sec. Excel's great. I love Excel. What are you talking about, Sean? All right. So I'm going to go here to Strat. Football board games. Card sets. Oh, they have okay, so they have 77, 85. So those are the two, and everything else. Well, no, they have 86, but I would either get 85 or 86. They get the 85 USFL, 6 teams. 1992, I would get that, 6 teams. I'm not buying 6 teams. Anything before 2016. Oh, and they have nothing between 97 and 2016. Nothing. They got a handful of 90s, 6 teams. And then there's nothing before 72. So 77 and 85 or 86. That's what I could get. So do I want to do that? I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted. So if I go to 77, $69. And what do you say? There was 30 off, so it'd be so $69 would be what, 23 off of that? So it'd be 46. Not terrible. $28 teams carded. See, that's what I would do. I know. So I mean, it's still tempting. It's still tempting, you know. I say I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I did enjoy what I played when I was in Colorado, but again, we talk about this like when we start checking boxes for games. I really, really don't want like if let's just say I got that and I played it and I loved it. Where do I go? Where do I go from there? I love this game. I play 77. Now I want to play something else. I can't. They don't have anything, and I'm not going to buy 6 teams. So it's like the Pine Tar. I like the Pine Tar, but they have one season that I would play. One season. I don't want one season. You know, I want to play more. If I'm excited about your game, I want to play a bunch of seasons, you know? Um and you already had 86 considering buying the remaster? Yeah. And LK says most frustrating with Strat is that they have a past season but don't have the extra players. Ran into that with Strat basketball. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, at least the the games that I like to play the baseball with. Appa has almost everybody. In fact, the seasons I have, I think they do. I think they do have everybody. If not, it's like it's a rare guy that's not carded. Payoff pitch has everybody. Season ticket baseball has everybody. Um, and Strat doesn't. So it's that's probably like out of my top four. Strat's probably the fourth out of the top four because it doesn't have everybody. And I like Strat Basic Baseball. I would absolutely buy more seasons. I have a handful of seasons, but again, they don't have everybody, so I really can't do a project. I can't do an as played. So I have to kind of just find my own way of having fun with Strat because it's so different. And Dwayne comes by. Good to see Dwayne. And yeah, and so Doug says, Doug, I'm looking. I thought it said donut. Because I'm getting tired over here because it's after midnight, and I thought it was donut. It's Doug. I thought it said donut. I really did. If you move the U and the N, it's donut, right? It's donut. I love donuts. She brought one home the other day. Says no more donuts. I can't have any more donuts. I got to stop the donuts. And I've done a good job. I used to have donuts a couple times a week. Now I don't. She brought one home. It was my favorite. It's the one with the cream inside. I'm like, ugh. It's like, just a little bite. That's what I had. Yeah, they don't provide fans with more season choices. Yeah, and the crazy thing is about Strat. Oh my gosh, it's like they had them in stock at one point, right? So it means you have the template to make them. It's not like, oh, we're out of stock. They're gone now. We'll never get them again. You have the ability to print more. That's what Appa does. When they're out of stock, they print more and they put them on the shelf. Who would ever think, what kind of sorcery is this that you could just print more and put them on the shelf and sell them and make money? I'm just one man. I'm just one man. And Dufferman, he really wants to get the Dynasty League, but they have 70s, a couple in the 80s and 90s and all the 2000s. The seasons I want to get are in that gap. Yeah, that's what kind of things, when they don't have an, and they're trying to, if you ask any developer, like ST said, they want all the seasons. Just, it's time consuming to do that. And when your season's not in there, I get it. It's like, oh man, it's like, yeah, I'm the same way. But that Dynasty, let me tell you, I don't play it. It's a lot of baseball for me. Maybe one day I'll give it a try because I look at the Apple Master. That's a lot of baseball, but I gave it a try and I'm slowly learning it. But the Dynasty League, I mean, if you're a baseball guy, that's your game. It is so much baseball going on in that game. And when he ran me through the gauntlet of all the things you need to do in that game, I was pretty impressed. But at the same time, I was completely overwhelmed and completely lost because I'm just not that big into it. I just want my results, and I don't need to know what color shoes the shortstop was wearing to determine if he makes the play or not. I'm kidding, of course, but that's the kind of detail in that game. So if you want, and like people say it's my favorite game ever, I can absolutely see why, because of how much details in that game. Absolutely. For me, it's just too much. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try it someday, but for me, that's just a lot of detail for baseball, and so I'm going to need to kind of warm up to that and come around to that. And maybe Appa Master will kind of push me towards that. So I like my simple baseball games, and there's a lot going on with that. So back here in the chat, and Barbara says, "See, it's so easy." See, so he said, "Oh, see, it's easy to change." Okay, so hopefully, it'll get better. Oh, AP, I didn't see AP. Is he still around? I don't know. And Midlife says, "I want to jump into second season, but this seasons are limited as well." Yeah, I'm surprised that they don't have more. They did have that sale last year. I don't know if they have it again. 20 for 20, 20 years of football for $20. It was $1 a season. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And the Baseman comes by. Good to see you, Mr. Baseman. And look at that. Yep. Yep. So thanks to Barbara 113. But Sean got his done, so it's good to see. And Midlife says, I think that's why this sale for Strat is probably the best ever. What they do have isn't moving off the shelf. Well, they've had this. Again, I'm not trying to bash Strat. It's not, but I'm just kind of talking like I talked about in gaming. Okay, the gaming mats. I'm just talking there. The sets that they've had on that. You go there and it's the same seasons over, and then once in a while there's one less because they sell out. But it's like, I don't want 2013. You've had 2013 on the shelf since I started playing these games. But all these other ones are gone and they don't replace them. And why? I mean, do businesses do that around here? If you go to the plumbing store, yeah, we're all out of pipe, and we're never getting them in again. That store's going out of business. You go to the paint store. Sorry, out of white. No more white paint ever. Who does that? Who does that? Even if I suggested this to Ron a long time ago, I was like, what if Strat just said we're taking pre-orders for this season to put it back in stock, right? But we need to have enough people to do this. And if they only get 10 people to sign up to do that season and they're like, okay, it ain't worth it, then you don't do it. But who's to say they don't get 40 or 50 people or 100 people who can do that season? Now you do it. You don't have to stock everything. You don't have to have $1 million in stock, but you can't sell out of an empty cart. So, again, if they had a 90% sale, I still wouldn't buy anything from them. Donut, right? I thought it said donut too. I am getting hungry. I just had pancakes, actually. We went to breakfast this morning, and, I was dying for pancakes, and when I got the menu, they had, sausage, biscuits, and gravy. What was it? Now I'm tired now. Biscuits and gravy. Sausage, biscuits and sausage gravy, whatever it was. So I got both. I said, "I'll take them home." So so the biscuits and gravy were good, and I even dipped my eggs into them, and I only had a little bit of the pancake, so I took it all home, right? And so for supper, I had the rest of the biscuits and gravy and the eggs, but then, about an hour ago, I was like, "Man, I'm kinda hungry," so I had the pancakes. So, yeah, I guess I must be getting hungry. Yeah. Um, and the Dynasty Baseball cards look cool, says Sean, yep. LK says, "Pursue the pennant. Dynasty League spoiled me for the other games. I need the lefty righty splits, a good fatigue system, and yes, the details. And how Clay streamlined season ticket is amazing. Yeah, he did a great job with that." Barbara says she's 113 years old. Very nice. Yeah, Dynasty has two different cards. Um, they have the small and the big ones. The big ones are really expensive, by the way. Um, and WG comes by. Thanks for coming by. um, yeah, there's a LK says they're making the big ones, but yes, they are ridiculously expensive. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Strat's business plan. Yeah. I mean, they've done some good things. Don't get me wrong, WG. They've done some good things because since I started playing, which was what, 7 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago is when I started this. Okay. I'm very new. And when they first started, they had that really old school business thing. And I remember one time I placed an order online for like the hockey chart or something. I'm gonna get a backup hockey chart. And I said, I'm gonna get a backup deck. And I said, no, let me just order the whole game. So I sent an email. I said, look, I says, I just put an order in for this and this. I says, could I cancel that and just buy the whole game? I'm gonna instead of just piecemeal, let me just buy the whole game again so I have a backup game. I'm spending more money with them. And they said no. They wouldn't cancel my order for the two things and then sell me the full game, which is gonna be more. So they told me, "No, we do not want you to spend any more money with us." That was my first interaction with Strat. And I was like, "Okay, this is going well." But now, now they say like charge, when you call in the phone, they used to charge you when you called in the phone, I think, and they charge $2 an order for everything. So they've really changed the way they did things. So it is a lot better, but still putting things in stock, that is like, I don't know, man. Yeah. Yeah, biscuits and gravy were good today. Let me tell you, I haven't had that in a long time. They were really good. Yeah. I print those seasons so fast, the princes which catch fire. Yeah. I mean, right? Again, I don't know anything about the cost of all the stuff in that, but I would think, unless the printer says, "Oh, we only will print, 1,000 seasons at one time." Well, then, you gotta get another printer. That's just stupid. But if you could, I don't know how many pages. I mean, the things are this thick. They're pretty thick. If you could get 5 or 10 seasons printed at a time and just have them in stock, they'd be flying. I mean, you telling me if they put all those 70 seasons back in stock, right? They wouldn't be flying out of there. Come on. Unless they're thinking that all the people that want to buy like 74 and 75, you know, that anybody that wants them already has them. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, I'm looking back at the 70s here. They got 70, 71, 72, 73, 76, 77, and 80. So they don't have 74, 75, 78, or 79. And those are my big seasons 75, 78, 79. And all the other ones I have 77, I have 80. I think I even have 82. I bought them all a long time ago, but I don't know. It's how they do it. As and Philip comes back, all those seasons would sell out quick if they restock. Yeah, you telling me that, if they put 74, 75, 78, and 79 back in the store, that they wouldn't be selling those? I bought 79 used from somebody, and the cards are all written on and shit, and they're older. I would absolutely buy a brand new 79 from Strat. Absolutely. I'd probably buy 78 Strat baseball. I just, I like the basic game that they have. I do. But we'll never know. We'll never know, shall we? The Strat quality, well, the 76 quality was horrible. Horrible. And then they got some complaints that the next set they put out was a little bit better, I heard. So, yeah, that one set was horrible, yeah. Mo says the last two football seasons they stated they're on thicker cards. Yeah, I think they are a little bit better now. I would think so. I would think they would sell. I mean, they're advertising themselves, right? Oh, you hear a lot of Strat advertising, and I know they're really pushing that Strat Max. Didn't they just say it was a 30% off the year if you bought it for the year or something like that? So they're trying to push that. Maybe they're trying to push that instead of the printed stuff. I don't know. By the way, this was really harsh. This is the grapefruit, and it's kind of harsh. I know grapefruit's harsh, but. And Justin says Strat uses FOMO to get seasons to quickly sell out because gamers don't want to miss the seasons they want. Maybe, but I mean, wouldn't you think after a year, put them back in stock? Maybe. And Strat uses the tiny fonts on the card, leaving plenty of white space. Well, I think that's for all of us old people. That's kind of tough. The main magnifying glasses, yeah. The cards that are really tough, the hockey bones. Those are kind of tough. But pretty much everything, like even the Apple Hockey on, that was PJet's complaint. Is the Apple Hockey at the very bottom is some tiny numbers for some of the advanced stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's it's tough to read. What can you do? So anyway, all right. Well, I didn't really realize it's going to be on this long. I just wanted to come on and say hi. And I was tired too. I was heading to bed. Tomorrow, if all goes well, I need to get some Apple football going here tomorrow. I'm gonna wait till Black Friday to buy my stuff. Except for I might grab that season ticket baseball tomorrow, so I can get something going with a co-op project. And oh, here's Keith right here too. I gotta check into that net soccer game that Keith had going. How'd you do with that, Keith? Did anybody contact you? I know a couple people said they were gonna play net soccer, so I didn't know how you made out with that. And Alan's got 2 LED magnifying glasses, you know, for D to D. Nice. Yeah, you got to put on lights. Yeah, I have lights all over the place. I got lights over the top, so the lights on the top come down and just illuminates everything. That makes it so much better. It really does. Okay, a lot of people got a hold of you for that. I need to check that now. Is that a cards and dice or is that Excel, Keith, on that? I'm interested in checking that out myself. I'm not a big soccer guy, but if it plays fairly simple, I might want to check that out. I should have just emailed you and got it myself, right? I got to see what seasons because I don't know much about soccer, but I know that the New England Revolution up here they did pretty well one year. Cards that's by recommend a roller. Okay. Yeah. I have a lamp. Well, I don't know if I can show you my lamp. So see this right here? That's what I have. It just there's a light, right? But it sits. It's like on a gooseneck. See the goose? And it just sits right over the top of my table. and it does a really nice job. And I can bend it and move it and twist it to where I need to be, you know. And LK says he stumbled across net results today, watched several videos, and downloaded the season. Looks great. Yeah, I gotta go watch some of his videos too. And Sean, yes, Sean, we know you're a vampire. We know you're a vampire, you know. No, I've only played a couple of games with the Ultra Quick Football. I haven't done much with that. Again, it's a quick play game, so I don't do a ton of that stuff. Oh yeah, you got one of those for your jigsaw puzzle? Yeah, bring that over to the table then. Bring it over to the table. Yeah, you do have to have lots of light. You wouldn't believe how bright it in here right now it is, and I still look like I'm still dark. Even though my table, like sometimes my table looks dark, I got so much light going on here, it's unbelievable. You ever been in a TV studio? I've been in this TV studio a couple of times. It is bright, and it's like the sun in a TV studio. It's nuts how much light they got on, and you look at the people, and they kind of look like, you know, they don't look like they're standing under the sun, but they are, you know. Sean said, I mean, Alan says, I've had enough lights to be able to rent out my tabletop as an operating room. Yeah, you do. You need a ton of light to make it look good, you know. So anyway, well, I'm gonna jump out here. Thanks for coming by, everyone. Like I say, I might come on tomorrow with some Apple football. I gotta see. I took tonight off because it was raining out and I didn't want to deal with it. I did play a game or two. I got a nice chatting with you guys, so I think I'm gonna try to set up some Apple football tomorrow. It's too late now to do it, but tomorrow we'll see. You got to have some fun with that. So I think it's gonna be raining tomorrow, so I can't do leaves tomorrow. Right? I can't do leaves in the rain. That's my excuse. So anyway, thanks for coming by tonight. Thanks for coming by for the Black Friday show Sunday night, our biggest show ever. And well, maybe we can make the Christmas one a little bit bigger. Maybe we'll have some more giveaways at Christmas time. So just a fun time to share games and share stories, and we'll try to find a good time to do that Christmas one. And and hopefully we can wind up the year on on a good note. So anyway, I'm Dave from Studio B. And we're getting ready for Thanksgiving in another day or so. Actually, well, it's tomorrow over here. Tomorrow will be Thanksgiving. Um, but tomorrow is Wednesday here, and I'm going to try to get some Wednesday football or something in, and hopefully we're going to have a good time with that. And thanks for coming by. Thanks for everything you guys do. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for listening to the podcast. And it's just a great hobby that we have here, and I'm glad to be part of it. So we'll talk to you all later. Bye bye.